it's day 15 of the 100 days of geography countdown thing. I probably should have like counted backwards so you know how many days left, but you can do the maths. It's what, 85 days today? It's still quite far off, so you are okay, don't stress too much. But today we're looking at global ecosystems. So the distribution of global ecosystems. Large-scale ecosystems are known as global ecosystems or biomes. These are defined by the dominant type of vegetation that grows within the region, such as tropical rainforests or tundra. Global ecosystems form broad belts across the world from west to east, parallel in the lines of latitude. This is because the climate and characteristics of ecosystems are largely determined by global atmospheric circulation, which we discussed on Valentine's Day if you want to go back and watch it on my channel. There are variations in these west-to-east belts of vegetation due to factors such as ocean currents, winds, and the distribution of land and sea. These factors produce fairly small variations in temperature and moisture, which in turn affect ecosystems. So let's think about tropical rainforests. These are found close to the equator. The high temperatures and heavy rainfall associated with these equatorial low pressure belts create the ideal conditions for plants to grow. Rainforests cover about 6% of the world's land surface, and more than half of the world's species of plants and animals live within this global ecosystem. A quarter of all of our medicines also come from the rainforests. Then deserts. These are usually found 30 degrees north or south of the equator. Deserts cover 1/5 of the world's land surface. Hot deserts are associated with the subtropical high pressure belt, where sinking air stops clouds from forming in high daytime temperatures, low nighttime temperatures, and low rainfall. Plants and animals have to be very well adapted to survive in these conditions. Polar ecosystem. These are found in the Arctic or the Antarctic. This is where cold air sinks in the north and southern poles, resulting in very low temperatures and dry conditions. The main polar regions are Antarctica and Greenland, when temperatures can fall below -50 degrees centigrade. And then deciduous and coniferous forests. These are usually found between 50 and 60 degrees north of the equator, so this is about where we sit in the UK. Deciduous trees shed their leaves in winter to retain moisture. Coniferous trees are cone-bearing evergreens, retaining their leaves to maximise photosynthesis during the brief summer months. The UK's natural vegetation is a deciduous forest. Further north, for example in Canada and Scandinavia, coniferous forests dominate as they are much better suited to cold environments. Then temperate grasslands. These are roughly 30-40 degrees north and south of the equator, inland away from the coasts, with hot summers and cold winters. This includes vast areas of grassland in North America, the prairies, and Eastern Europe, the steppes. These areas experience warm, dry summers and cold winters. Grasses can tolerate these conditions, and dry land is mainly used for grazing animals. The Mediterranean ecosystem, roughly 40 to 45 degrees north of the equator. These are also isolated locations south. There are also isolated locations south of the equator, such as South Africa and Western Australia. Countries around the Mediterranean enjoy hot, sunny and dry summers with mild winters. This is due to the pressure belts migrating slightly north and south during the year. Mediterranean vegetation includes olive trees and fruit trees such as lemons and oranges. Other parts of the world have a similar climate, for example California in the USA, South Africa and other parts of Australia. And then tropical grasslands, savannas. These are usually found between 15 and 30 degrees north and south of the equator. The tropical climate in these low latitude areas is characterised by distinct wet and dry seasons. The dry season can be very hot and wildfires can break out. Violent thunderstorms can occur in the wet season though. Large herds of animals graze on these lands, along with predators such as lions and leopards. And then finally the tundra. This is from the Arctic Circle to about 60 degrees north, so Canada and Northern Europe. There are only very small areas of tundra in the southern hemisphere due to the lack of land at these latitudes. Tundra is characterised by low-growing plants adapted to retain heat and moisture in the cold, windy and dry conditions. It's a fragile ecosystem, easily damaged by humans and threatened by developments such as oil exploitation and tourism. Animals such as reindeer are adapted to survive this cold weather. So we're going to briefly look at the question, describe the global pattern of the tundra ecosystem. We very briefly touched on this just a second ago. So it is found in the northern hemisphere from the Arctic Circle to about 60 to 70 degrees north. It's kind of a belt around, if you were to look at the Earth like this, and this is the Arctic, kind of around. So you've got places like Russian Siberia, you've got Svalbard, you've got Greenland, no, Greenland's not that. Iceland maybe, that area within, if you were to pencil it around on a globe like this, but then if you tilt it, it looks circular. It would be the same in the southern hemisphere, but if you were to look at the southern hemisphere on a globe and then tilt it, so Antarctica is here, there's actually not much land in the 60 to 70 degrees latitude area, which is why tundra isn't there. Tundra is not permanently frozen. It thaws out a little bit in the summer, and there is a top layer, the active layer of the tundra, that thaws out and then refreezes again in the winter months. But yeah, as I said, it's very easy for that to be affected and damaged by humans. It's prone to climate change and changing warmer global temperatures, and yeah, so more plant life might grow, but also that means that the tundra is thawing and melting out, which probably isn't a good thing. So I do hope this has been useful. Do subscribe down below so that you don't miss more from me, and I will see you same time, same place tomorrow, 7 AM.